Sorry about that. Welcome to pull. No specific time frame or anything like that, like X weeks out or anything. Might as well get into it straight away actually. So a few people have been asking me about my training recently, because you've probably seen I've been lifting a little bit heavier than what you'd typically see as high volume. And the reason for that really was coming back from the anabolic situation where it was fake. Me and Nathan were trying to work out why my body was just disappearing, not responding, all that sort of stuff. So within that we tried to change the nutrition, the cardio, the output, the training. So as we found out it was the anabolics, Nathan spent a couple of days or a day or so writing a training program out for me, and it was worth just having a blast on that block for 6 or 8 weeks. And we're probably 4 weeks in now. Oh, that was like the 4th time I've SLDL'd in 2 years. So this is maybe week 5, because I did miss a week of pulling. And I'm just going to carry on training like this for a while. I'm quite enjoying it. The volume is still pretty high, and the stimulus is massive. If I was in a surplus right now, I would have blown the fuck right up. My training from a high volume standpoint has always been all I could do with my clients. So if you're one of my guys, I've worked in a similar sort of model to what I use. We started with a high volume, and basically it's like putting stabilizers or training wheels back on. We go back and you learn how to tax a muscle with as minimal weight as possible. So as we start getting heavier, you can understand that if you are sacrificing form or connection for weight, you can feel it then, because you're like, that doesn't feel like it felt when I was doing 15 reps. That feels like nothing. So your mind is trained to be able to connect to the muscle a little bit better. So now as I've come back to the heavy lifting, my connection to the muscle under load is fucking far superior to what it's ever been. So for me now, potentially not lifting as heavy as what I will today throughout the session, I'm still not logbooking, but that stimulus of being able to load heavy weight under tension for the muscle is going to be huge. So it's a little bit of a waste doing it in a deficit. See, I'm actually currently still in a deficit. We're still coming down, I'm still getting lean. Again, there's just no immediate plans. So I'll get like peeled like 3 or 4 weeks out and then see then, potentially. But all in all, that's where we are at the minute. First exercise, SLDL, just 1 set of that. I actually pulled my back a little bit when I was on 3 plates. My lower right back then, I just felt it like tighten right up, but my mindset today is not to lift anything less than 6 plates or 6 out. Well, I got 5 last time and I wanted 6. There's a 7 next time, easily. And then we're gonna go into, so just 1 set of that, 1 heavy loading set. Then we've got a T-bar from the floor. So again, it's 2 bent over movements. That's the reason why we're only doing 1 set each. And then we'll go into the session, which again is still relatively a lot of volume for me. The sessions are quite long. I'll be in here today like an hour 45 at least, but by the time from here, and I've already been messing about with that for a good 20 minutes, so a little bit long, but everything seems to be working. Body's nice and settled, so I'm just going to crack on with it. I'll talk you through everything that I'm thinking about when we're going in the session, and how I'm looking at executing the movements any differently, i.e. in terms of loading, am I thinking about anything else, etc. So I'll get Joe to help me put these weights away, so I've got a bad back now. And we'll settle the next exercise. So exercise number 2, again it's just 1 working set. I don't know the rep range, I think it's maybe 12 to 15, so I'll do anywhere between 12 and 20. As long as I can control it properly, get a good stretch on this, make sure the contraction is squeezed and not thrown. It's easy to throw this. And just really thinking about my elbow travel more than anything, so if I'm ducking into it, I've not got a lot of movement from my humerus or my elbow, let's say, so I'm not getting the lat as short, or I'm not moving it through its full range of motion, even though sometimes it might feel like it when you're loaded up like this. So even though working sets are 1 working set, I will still go through the warm-ups like I would do a high volume warm-up. So I'm still going to do 15 to 20 reps per set, i.e. warm-up set. The difference is there that the actual working set is a 1 set, rather than if I was going to do this, i.e. like a 1 working set and a push-pull leg set setup, I would be looking to save my energy and then go all out in that 1 set, whereas I'm still allowing myself to build up that blood flow, got that metabolic work almost before I hit the heavier set. Yes, it might take away something from the loading set, but for the stimulus that I'm going to get now from me, not lifting very heavy for a long time, it's going to be massive anyway, so I don't need to worry too much about that. got to get used to is taking my time a little bit more in between sets with this style of training, if you like. But because although I'm loading heavier, I'm not load focused. Which sounds a little bit backwards, but I don't know what weight, how many reps I got last time I did this. I don't know what weight I did on the next exercise. I go to what feels good. Like there, 3 plates felt pretty good actually. 4 will probably be a hard 12, but hard controlled 12. Whereas last week I don't know what it was. But I've just felt that today. I mean, like, right, that's where I need to be. Still very mindful about everything feeling smooth and nice and on the muscle. And I feel like there's just so much merit to coming back and starting again. So you get your experience from going forward and doing your heaviest training and coming back from a place where you understand training a little bit more, so you can get that connection, you can take the muscle to a different kind of failure through your own muscle fibers. And then coming back up to this training, you just understand it so much more. And then potentially again, when you get a little bit complacent with this training, resetting and going back and coming back up, I just think, not necessarily measure cycles, but certain cycles of that over a period of time will do you very well. Oh, there it is. It's interesting because all volume's not equal, so just doing 2 technically working sets between the SLDL and this has probably fatigued me systemically more than 2 of my usual back sessions in a row. Again, it's finding that stimulus to fatigue ratio, which sounds a little bit sciencey and a little bit geeky, which I don't usually like, but getting the most bang for your buck. Right now for me this is great. When my calories come down a little bit more, my recovery starts to wane a little bit, maybe not so much then, because there's just no way I can sustain pulling 6+ plates off the floor when I'm 230 pounds. It's impossible. So, you know the phrase, what build it will keep it, it's bollocks. When you build it with load, you can't keep the load. You just can't. If you're 280 pounds in an off season and you compete at 240, 230, you're not shifting the same amount of weight, and if you are, it's not on the muscle like it was when you were 280, I guarantee you that. So it's quite common for a pull session to be very similar to this, where you start off with a hinge or a pull, and maybe go into like another movement which is reasonably heavy, and then you go into what is called more accurate work, accessory work if you like, and that's where I'm about to go now. But when I finish the pull from the floor especially, my body just feels numb. Like, it's like after that one set I could quite happily go home and body's damaged. So a lot of guys used to say to me, you know, I just can't get into the session after that. So typically what we do, or what I do and a lot of my guys do now, is just take 5 minutes. This is the beginning part of the session. This is the heavy, hard stuff. It's done. We don't need to rush and do the accessory now. Let that blood flow drop down a little bit. Let your body just recover. If that's 5 minutes, if that's 10 minutes, sound. And then make sure you're fresh, ready to go into the work, where you need to be quite accurate and be able to feel the muscle rather than just pulling for the sake of pulling and being numb. Can't use that. It's like, I don't know, it's like I need, yeah, it's just, them dimensions are very good. We'll just wait for this guy here and then we'll come up. Or I could even change the exercise, I don't know what the next exercise is. It's a single arm, I think it's a single arm row. A pull down first to be better, technically. Or someone's on the single arm row as well, actually. And that's the problem with doing this style of training with the push-pull legs, because every single person in this gym is doing the same thing. They literally are. Single arm pull down, single arm row, upper back pull down, upper back row, upper back pull down, then another back row. Guarantee it. Not that that's a problem, but when you're trying to train and everyone's doing the same thing. Whereas usually, high volume, I just move on. Sure, it's just 2 sets of this, 10 to 15. Go a little bit heavier there, it feels quite nice. Usually by the time I'm on this, I've done the pull down already, so I'm a little bit fresher here, so I'll take advantage of being strong in this position. I feel really sweaty today. I've burnt myself on sunbed a couple of times. I've gone for like quick blasts across the week when I was still burnt, I was going on. But then, do you know, when you get bad sunburn, you swell right up. So I've been swollen the last couple of days and it's that water, that from the inflammation just pissing out me. Nice machine this. It's not going to be very good if you're doing it dual. Oh, too much pre-workout again. Do it every time. Every time I need a big session. Load it up. Yeah, considering a Pepsi Max gets me off my tits. I do like a Pepsi Max at the minute. And do you know what I found actually, which is sort of, I sort of mentioned it to Nathan this morning. As soon as my mind's in prayer, get shredded, move forward, move forward. Next step, what more can I do? Don't sit down, keep moving. And that's pretty detrimental to my physique as a whole over the course of X amount of weeks, because I don't have it in me to rest and not continuously trying to get better. Whereas because we've got a lot of time now, or there is no time limit, it's like, you know, when I hit my 8,000 steps for a day, I can just stop. I'm not like, all right, I need to go, I'm gonna walk to the shop and get a bottle of water even though I don't need one. Or I'm gonna go and clean the bathroom again, because it's expenditure. And when I'm in the gym, it's not like I'm just trying to kill myself and I'm thinking 10 weeks out, 10 weeks out. I'm just coming in and I'm just, again, like I said last time, just day by day, get up, do my cardio, don't overthink it. Don't try and keep putting the speed up every day because I want to get better. Just do my cardio while I'm set, do my steps while I'm set, enjoy training. If you have a bad session, have a bad session. I don't need to think about it for the rest of the day. Luckily, touch wood, I haven't had a bad session in a long time. But I just come in, enjoy it, there's no pressure. Nutrition is nutrition, it gets eaten every time, whatever, but and just because of that lack of internal stress of me comparing myself to the top 1% of the physiques in the world, I feel good. I'm not overanalyzing every single thing about myself. Like me being slightly swollen from the sunbed when I was posing yesterday, I looked like I'd gone like 4 weeks behind to where I was. And not only that, I just fucking sent me through the roof. Where I just like, oh, that'll come off in a few days, don't need to worry about it. And basically everything I tell my clients, I just tell it to myself. Joe can relate to this. And it's a nice feeling. Like, it's nice. But at the same time, there is obviously a time limit. I don't want to be doing this for 20 weeks, because I'm wasting time, technically. 10 weeks time, I'm 250 pounds still, which is a good 250 for me, this actually. 10 weeks time, 235-ish, something like that. I should be very lean by that point. So I think that's really realistically what we want to look at. 235, at 235, I'm in striking distance of being within a show there, if we're going to do one. And then I'll just look at the physique then. Is it worthy enough, or do I need a little bit more time? Either way, we'll all be able to see and have a look. And the only thing about this training, again, and I've said it a million times, is arms. There's no reason, there's no wonder no one has any arms in UK. And that's not a dig, but it is at the same time. Like the arms are just forgotten about. It's like the most, they're in every single pose. Like, oh, just do a bicep at end of session. So I'm gonna have to start throwing a few more arms in, I think. It's very easy to get a short contraction on this and just not bring your elbow far enough back. So maybe like over exaggerate that. As long as your shoulder doesn't roll forward and when you're in the short position. Right, working sets again, 2 sets of 12 to 15. So I've loaded middle and top. A little bit more through the middle on the first set. When you load the top as well, it drops off a little bit. So the full load is at the beginning and then it drops off a little bit as you get into the short. So because we've done a movement already, like lat's not going to be necessarily too tired really. but it just gives it that little bit of extra help where it will start to get tired throughout the set. It just allows us to be able to keep the contraction on with more control, which you already know because it gets spoken about every time with every person. I'm maybe trying to say things in a little bit more common sense terms, or maybe not. I am going to try and slow my talking down though, because I do understand that I do mumble quite a lot, and I am from Yorkshire, so there's a lot of people that won't know what I'm saying. 2 sets. Trap set, back up set. It's like a 6 to a 9 and then a 10 to a 12. But I think a 6 to a 9 on this, I'd have to load it up so much that I wouldn't be able to contract in the range I need to. So it may need to be like a 10 to a 15 or 10 to a 12, but I'll see. If I can get it in that rep range, great. This is what I've talked about a lot about, for example, legs. I can do 5 reps on legs and it'll all be on legs, whereas other body parts, I can't really get that tension stimulus or load through the muscle itself without actually building the setup first, which is strange, but it's not something that I've not spent a lot of years trying to do. So sometimes just doing what you're good at is best.
Nice t-shirt.
Thank you, mate. Ironically, I'm a sweaty fat mess and I've got tongue conditioned on my on my t-shirt. So thank you for that, Joe. With the on-demand printing, what I mentioned last time, obviously it makes it super easy for me now to get as much merchandise as anybody likes. You get anything you want and print anything you want on it. So I've just gone with Team Tonk. So you don't even have to be part of the coaching team, just supporting Tonk. Get a Team Tonk t-shirt. Tonk conditioned, generally because my guys are very conditioned and I can get good condition. And Tonk trained because, even though you're not seeing that today, generally my guys train differently, and it's not like a flex to say, oh, it's different so it's better, but actually some of my guys train like this, very well, exactly like this, if that suits them and that's what they need. But again, a lot of my guys train high volume, sort of hybrid between heavy and light, mesocycles of heavy, mesocycles of volume, all out training, then to like a 75% week. There's everything from the start to finish. So the Tonk trained is something that's a little bit more personal. Everyone's got a team whatever. Conditioned, again, I do feel like my guys are always very, very well conditioned. It's something I pride myself on. And then the training is some training. So hoodies, t-shirts, might do some socks. Tonk socks. Tonk crocs. Tonks.
Guys train like this because they are mentally
ill. Yeah, well, this is another thing actually. So I'm very honest, always have been, always will be. I feel like when you're watching people's YouTubes and that, you never really know the person. You're like, yeah, he's good and he looks great, but can I relate to him? Is he a normal person? I'm just a normal person. I had family, normal jobs, trials and tribulations like everybody else. And at the minute, like my last month has been easily the worst month that I've ever experienced in my life, as an adult anyway. Like what's gone wrong has gone wrong. And when you're a bodybuilder, like this is not an accident. Like there's a reason why you're a bodybuilder. If you're a bodybuilder and you're watching this, or someone who trains like a bodybuilder, acts like a bodybuilder, pushes yourself in the gym, somewhere down the line at some point, whether you know when that was or not, you've experienced a massive amount of trauma. You were maybe bullied, or family experience, all that sort of stereotypical stuff. There's something mental behind bodybuilding. And for a lot of years when I used to train really hard and heavy, A lot of it stems from like my childhood, which I've spoken about before. And actually, when I didn't see my mum for 10 years, and I moved out when I was 11 or 12. And actually, when I sort of like rekindled my relationship with my mum, not too long ago actually, that almost deep-seated anger that forced me to go a little bit further than everyone else, or I thought I did, just sort of like dimmed a little bit, because you're almost fixing trauma through fixing it properly rather than in training. And actually this past week, well sorry, this past month has reignited that sort of abandonment trauma, if you like. And it's easy to laugh about, but it's true. So coming in the gym right now for me is nothing more than therapy every day. And that's all it is. Like, I wake up and I can't wait to get here so I can feel better. When I leave, I feel better. Right now I feel better. Before I came here today, I didn't. And then tomorrow I'll be the same, and I'll get here and I'll train and I'll feel better. And then people are always chasing that endorphin, that high, because they never fix what's making them like that in the first place. And actually, even though I was very aware of it, very conscious of it, and I spoke to people like Joe about this before, I didn't want to fix it, because that made me a great bodybuilder. And I was scared that if I fixed it, then I wouldn't be anymore, because I'd be at peace. So you choose one or the other, in my opinion. Be a great bodybuilder or you be at peace. So right now, I'm going to be a great bodybuilder up until who knows. But yeah, this style of training for now, for me, works very, very well. And I'll keep doing it up until I'm at peace or I hurt myself. That's where I am right now. Honest answer. That was a bit deep for a YouTube video, wasn't it? It shows why I died there. So we've got tonk therapy as well, if you want to join that. 3, 2, yep. My bad, thank you. That's better. Interesting point Joe just mentioned then, which you probably didn't hear. He just said it's just energy transfer, which is very true. And his analogy was like, you can take it out on the world and go to prison, or you can take it out in the gym. And initially, before bodybuilding, I didn't do the latter. Yeah, just choose where you put your suffering. And as it happens, the people around me, like my family who grew up in the same situation as me, are all alcoholics or drug addicts. That's their path. Like, bodybuilding's no better technically in terms of masking it. Well, I say it's no better. It's better than a drug addict. Although technically you can still call yourself some kind of pharmaceutical drug addict if you're assisted. Right, I'm leaving that there. Leave it there. That feels really nice actually. We've actually got a prime upright row after this as well. Extreme row, and then rear delts, and then biceps. So volume wise, across the board it's quite a lot.
Make it easy. Make it easy. Helpful.
Good. Drive yourself into the pad. That's it, there you go. Go then. Good, Cuba. Yeah, 12 to 15, 2 sets when you're doing something like this. Like generally when you're doing back work, you never want to be in this position, apart from if you're doing a rear delt or like a trap focused movement obviously. But even when you're here still, you almost still want to try and have your shoulders spread so you're not all trap. and you can transfer onto your rear delts. And the other way to do that is let your rear delts stretch around, and then as you're pulling, you've sort of got that initial engagement with them. And also, if you've got any prime kit or anything that drops off or anything like that, is a good idea to get it to go a little bit easier when you come into the short, especially at the end of the session.
The vibe is on something mystical. I don't say shit my spirit do. Ain't no telling you what he might do. Write the songs and he real too. Trap jumping, it's a rage cage. Short circuit in the mainframe. Bet I'll be on in a minute though. Made me a couple of centerfolds. I blew it all at the register. Could've lived it twice if I wanted to, but I cherish this, I'm on my character. I'm a problem with the predicate. See, back then I was trapped in with the pattern pen to make it happen. It was at risk, but that's past tense. Now they back's pin, nigga tap in. All of these goes, but I'm blacklist. Couldn't see me through the glasses. Took the code and I cracked the shit. Kicked the door in with the tactics. In the game, there's no practice.
That's the back portion done. I'm quite happy with that. I actually don't, when I've done this session the last 2 times, I've had a really good pump. I felt like my back was big. I don't feel like that today, but I never do when I sweat. If I'm training and I'm sweating, it's almost like I go flat and small, weird. And I'm sweating a lot today, so I've got that sort of flatness feeling. However, there was a lot of good work in there. Happy with the SLDL at the beginning. Second exercise was pretty good. I felt really good on that. The Cybex Eagle row was nice. The Citadel pull down, single arm pull down was okay. It wasn't as good because I weren't as fresh. And I was a little bit tired near the end of the first set and second set in the short, but again, I got a lot done what I needed to get done. Prime row, upright row, the seat height on the first set was a little bit wrong. Dropped it down, second set felt lovely. Cybex Eagle, upper back pull down machine, even though it's just a pull down machine, that's a staple from now on, that felt really good. And then this for the rear delts felt nice. So, got a back like Dorian Yates now, and we just need to get some arms like Kuba Chelin. So, cable curl it is. Don't tell him I said that though. Come on, that one. Oh boy. So guys, that session done. It's 3 o'clock now. I started at 12:30. I put the bar on the platform at 12:30 and then started from there. So that's 2 hours. It's 2. It's obviously far too long, but like I said at the minute, I'm enjoying being in the gym. So here's what it is. And the physique's looking pretty good. I'm not complaining. Even though we had such a bad start to the prep, and I completely disappeared from my off season. Actually looking at my body fat levels at this point last time to now, there's actually a good amount more muscle there in density, especially in the back, in the chest, arms. Delts a little bit, not so much, and legs are the same, if not a little bit down, but it balances the physique out quite nicely. We could have done a physique check today, really, but I am very watery from yesterday, so next time we'll probably train a bit of push, and then I'll show you. And I do bang some on my story every now and then, but you can't, it smooths everything out in there, so you can't really see too much. Obviously, like I said, there's a lot of changes to things. If you've got any questions, ask me. You can drop me a DM on Instagram either way, as a lot of you guys do. But like I said, it's not something where I've completely changed my mindset towards my philosophies in training. Everybody who I work with is still doing the same sort of thing, going in the same sort of direction. Just for me at this time, with Nathan being my coach and we're trying this approach, it just makes sense to do it. And because I'm not going to be doing it for a long time, I'm not concerned, because I'm not going to be breaking myself down over, you know, a year of training like this. I simply just couldn't do it. I'm halfway to 70 now. Got to start thinking about recovery before I go to Shady Acres and hang my bodybuilding gloves up. But thank you for tuning in, guys. We'll sort some out for next time. Another push session, I think. And we haven't done that, have we? Well, I say heavy. It's relatively heavy for what I do at push. So we'll do one of them sessions. And like I said, any questions, hit me up. See you next time.